So, girls, for today, I have taken a workshop, like workshop handout I'm taking. I have been doing RC with you for last 2 weeks. Then I did some grammar with you, isn't it? And together there is a handout today where you will be doing two RCs on the pattern of your CAT exam. Okay, where you will get 4 MCQs, 5 MCQs to solve based on each passage. Okay, so children, we will be doing today two passages, and then further we'll be doing all the ways of grammar, like I told you, parajumbles, fill-ups, and synonyms, antonyms, everything. Okay, so today just one handout, but based on the pattern of exam only. Okay, and it's a workshop handout. Workshop in a sense, workshop is where you learn how to work with. The first 2 weeks were just like we were creating stair for it. And now the staircase has been created. Now we are on the path. Now we are going to work on. Okay. Okay. So it's a verbal ability workshop. Okay, basically, there is a lot of where you'll be getting vocab, and for no one it is possible to learn all the word meanings in one go, isn't it? But what you'll have to do is you'll have to take the contextual meaning. Procedure will be the same, that you'll be reading one by one, both of you, assuming its meaning, like I have been telling you that every time, the moment you read it, your mind should start analyzing its meaning. Okay, it should be comprehending it. Okay, so it's going to be read first by whom? Gauri or Hannah?
Ma'am, I'll
Yeah,
start.
yeah, please.
I was recently in a clothing store in a dilemma over which color to choose. When the normal tedium evading the aisles was sorry, ma'am. When the
Wait.
normal tedium pervading the aisles was suddenly
Hmm,
rent by the
hmm,
renting distress of a young woman by
hmm,
the ranting distress of a young woman in her early 20s, pacing
hmm,
around and fuming into her cell phone. She made no effort to muffle her foul mouthed monologue, treating everyone to a one sided tale of backstabbing betrayal as mascara ran down her cheeks like raccoon tears. Judging from the stony expressions all around, her situation engendered no sympathy from the jury pool, partly because there was something phony about her angst,
thanks. Yeah.
something performative. As they say in cultural studies, her meltdown was reminding me of something, and then it flashed. This is how drama queens behave on reality TV, spoiled and pampered adults licensed to pout on primetime travesties of life and living. The thin skinned and martyred pride, the petulant, self centered psychodrama. She was playing the scene as if a camera crew were present, recording her wailing solo for the highlight reel. Proof, perhaps, that the ruinous effects of reality TV have reached street level and invaded the behavioral bloodstream, gaining, guarding attention junkies to act as if we're all extras in their vanity production. There was li- there was a time when idealistic folk such as myself believed that reality TV was a programming vogue that would peak and recede, leaving only its hardiest show-offs instead if it metastasized like toxic mold, filling every nook and opening new crannies. Idiocracy, a popular satire about a future society too dumb to wipe its nose, now looks like a prescient documentary.
Okay, fine. Now, second paragraph will be read by Gauri. Gauri,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
may take two, three paragraphs because she has got the biggest one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm not talking about competition shows where actual
Talent.
talent undergoes stress tests as creative imagination and problem solving enter a field of player performance. It's those series that clog the neural pathway of pop culture with the contrived antics of glorified nobodies and semi cherished has beens that are going to be the death of us. The influence of reality TV has been insidious, pervasive. It has ruined television, and by ruining television, it leads us to ruin. Maybe we were already on the way, but if so, now we are almost there. Let us itemize the damage. Reality TV has lowered network property values. Crass shows like Big Boss are even given the same priority as news and sport. This tells us of the truly craven quality of people currently running TV channels. It is also a useful lesson in the diminishing returns of technology as applied to television, since it is now obvious that the expansion of cable and DTH broadcasting has led only to the mass replication of video garbage rather than a banquet of culture. As first doubted, the mega dosage of reality programming has lowered the lowest common denominator to pre literacy. Reality TV has annihilated the classic documentary. When was the last time you saw a prime time documentary devoted to a serious subject worthy of all your attention? They are extinct, relics of the prehistoric past, back when television attempted to espouse civic ideals. Reality TV has debased the time on honored art of bad acting. Bad acting comes in many bags and various odors, whether in the recitation of a dialogue of an eye chart or the suffusion of melodrama in every frame. Bad acting has its own style. What can't be denied, though, is that there is effort being made, which is why we can stand it. What kind of acting do we get from reality TV? Eye rollings, dirty looks, stick figures, gestures, incensed mama head waggings, jaws dropped like drawbridge to convey stunned indignation. Emotionally, reality TV is emaciated.
Emaciated
Envy
anyway.
and spite being the alternating currents, nearly everyone conforms to crude cartoon stereotype: gold digger, flamboyant, gay, recovering addict, sofa spud, and rageaholic, making us many pinched faces as the facelift will permit. A small caliber barrage of reaction shots that can be cut from any random stretch of footage and pasted in later to punctuate an exchange. Good manners and decorum are anathema to reality TV, where contrived impulsivity rules the roost.
Okay.
Uh,
So, okay, Ruth, now let us give it to Hannah. Hannah, you conclude it.
Yes, ma'am. Reality TV encourages and rewards vulgar, selfish, antisocial, egoistic behavior. Even losers gloat with nasty delight after being eliminated from a show if they can take rivals down with them. Almost as if losing looks were sweet victory, a sacrifice worth making to louse up someone else's chances. Reality TV gives voyeurism a dirty name. For film directors, voyeurism has been one of the great self reflexive themes in post war cinema, whether it was in Sleuth, the Osterman Weekend, Cachet, or Rare Window. The audience in spying uh,
That's it. Mm.
at life within a location became implicated and snared in the drama that unfolded in the voyeurism of reality TV. The viewer's passivity is kept intact, pampered and massaged, and force fed carefully, edited snippets that permit him or her to sit in easy judgment and feel superior at watching familiar strangers make fools of themselves. The only
Yeah.
reality of reality TV is that it looks in only one direction down.
Yeah. One direction down. Okay, children. So, what was it all about?
The downside and negative influences of reality TV
Hmm.
or its overall impact.
Overall effect on the people's behavior.
Yeah.
Ah. So I should take it now. There will be few words I will be highlighting and telling you the meanings of it. If possible, you may take it down. Okay. Okay. So girls, it reads, I was recently. Now this I is the narrator. So this goes for first person assertive. Children. What is first person? First person.
assertive,
Yeah. What do you understand by it? Acha, first person, second person, third person, you already know in grammar? Yes or no? Otherwise, if you don't know, I will
yes,
go ahead.
ma'am.
You know it. Okay, tell me what is first person? First person is the speaker.
When you are narrating a story, like when
Yeah,
you use the
here it
word
is like that
I,
only. Otherwise, in grammar, if I ask you, the first person is yeah. You know, so here it's I, the first person speaker. Okay. So here narrator is describing his own experience. So he says, I was recently in a clothing store in a dilemma over which color to choose. Okay. When the normal tedium, what do you understand by this tedium? And pervading the aisles. So what do you understand by this? Otherwise, tedium is boring. Forwarding the aisles means those items which were spread everywhere on the aisles. Okay. Was suddenly rent by the renting distress of a young woman in her early 20s. Now, here age counts a lot. Early 20s, pacing around and fuming into her cell phone. She made no effort to muffle her. A muffle, what do you understand by muffle here? Muffled sound is a closed sound. She did not try to lower it down. She was as loud as she could be, isn't it? Her foul mouthed monologue. What do you understand by monologue, children?
A long dialogue, a
Okay,
very long dialogue spoken by just one person.
just
It's
one
a
person.
one-sided conversation.
One-sided conversation.
It's
Correct.
not a dialogue where two people are.
Huh. Where two people are involved. So otherwise, log, monologue, prelogue, epilogue, dialogue. You might have read in your this thing also, grammar. In your literature, while you were reading any novel, you were having prelogue, and then you were having epilogue at last, isn't it? So prelogue goes for the dialogue by the important character, where he or she introduces the play. Okay, and then epilogue is at last the closing of the play is announced by a particular person, particular main character. And monologue and dialogue, mono is monopoly, just single person speaking. Okay, so she was speaking to herself. Dialogue is a exchange of dialogues. Here it is this girl of 20s. She was just talking to herself in her phone itself, okay? Treating everyone, whom she was treating everyone because it's a mall, it's a some store where so many people are there, isn't it? Treating everyone to a one-sided tale of backstabbing. So how were the people feeling over there? Backstabbing. Okay. Betrayal. Okay, I'm right now. Betrayal as mascara ran down her cheeks like raccoon tears. Comparison has been made here. Which figure of speech it is? Like raccoon tears? Children, which figure of speech it is?
Comparison.
So comparison, which one it is? It is simile. When we compare with like and as, it is simile. And we straight away give the name, then it is metaphor. Okay. So here, her tears, her cheeks, they were like raccoon tears. Okay. Judging from the stony expressions all around, her situation engendered no sympathy, provoked no sympathy from the jury pool. Now, who would be the jury pool here? People all over, they are watching at her because of her behavior. Partly because there was something phony, that is pretending, about her angst, that is anxiety. Something performative, as if she was doing some performance, seeking the attention of people, as they say in cultural studies. Her meltdown, now meltdown is, might be she was having her tears and now, was reminding me, now who's this me? The narrator, of something, and then it flashed. This is how drama queens behave on reality TV, spoiled and pampered adults licensed to pout on prime time travesties of life. Now, this is on the television only. Otherwise, travesties are the daily day activities, isn't it? So, children, further it says, the thin-skinned and martyred pride. What type of pride she had? What is the meaning of martyr?
Dead pride. Like she
Dead
did not
pride.
have any
Yeah,
pride.
any pride. And petulant? Petulant will be bad-tempered. Okay. Self-centered psychotrop. Okay, she was playing the scene as if a camera crew were present recording her wailing solo. Wailing solo.
Ma'am, what did you tell for petulant?
Petulant is bad-tempered. Acha, if you are taking down, then I will go ahead with every word. है ना? Okay, so petulant is bad behavior. Children, here it goes, solo of the highlight reel, as if she was making some reel. Proof. Now, for proof for that is perhaps that ruinous effect of reality TV have reached street level and invaded the behavioral bloodstream boarding. What's the meaning of boarding? Provoking. Write down provoking. Attention junkies. Who are the junkies? Person with a compulsive behavior. To act as if we are all extras in the vanity production. The way that lady was behaving, 20-year-old, that was as if everybody is looking at her acting. isn't it? There was a time when idealistic folks such as myself, not the narrator. Okay. Now, what is the position of the author here? He is the narrator. Okay. Believed that reality TV was a programming work that would peak and recede. It would peak, it may recede, leaving only its hardiest show-offs. Instead, it has metastasized. Children, now metastasized, it comes spread. It's a verb form. Otherwise, it is metastasis. But metastasize, the verb form has been made, and it means it's spread to other sites in the body because it goes for cancer cells. Okay, spread in the other parts of the body, cancer cells. So here he is considering it like cancer, like toxic mold filling every nook and opening. New crannies means the small openings. Idiocracy, a popular satire. What's the meaning of satire? This is again a figure of speech. Come on, girls. Okay, so children, satire is a use of humor, irony, exaggeration to ridicule or expose or to criticize. Okay, generally we find it in Kapil Sharma show and all that. Earlier there used to be Ali and all who used to speak in such a way that they would make fun of the Indian politics and all that, and that would be so funny that people would laugh. At the same time, they are also exposing them. That is satire. About a future society too dumb to wipe its nose and new looks like a prescient documentary. What is the meaning of prescient? Showing knowledge of events. Showing knowledge of events. Okay. I'm not talking about competition shows where actual talent undergoes stress, test, as creative imagination, that problem solving enter a field of play or performance. It's those series that clog the neural pathways of pop culture. What is this pop culture, children? Write down, pop culture is a modern culture which is transmitted via mass media. Okay, with the contrived antics and glorified nobodies and semi-cherished has-beens that are going to be the death of us. The influence of reality TV has been insidious. What's the meaning of insidious? Proceeding in a gradual way. Write down, please. Proceeding in a gradual way. Pervasive. Spread everywhere. It has ruined the television, and by ruining television, it is leading us to ruin. Maybe we are already on the way. But if so, now we are almost there. Okay. Let us itemize the damage. Now, till now, and here he was just telling us whatever has happened and why it has happened. Now he says, let us now itemize. Okay. So how he says, okay, now let us itemize, he says, and we are going to itemize. Reality TV has lowered network property values. Crash shows. What's the meaning of crash shows, children? Devoid of refinement. Anything they show it. Okay? Like Big Boss, given the same priority as news and sports. Why? Because this is being shown at the prime time. Okay? This tells us of truly craven quality of the people currently running TV channels. It is also a useful lesson in the diminishing returns of the technology as applied to television, since it is now obvious that the expansion of cable and DTH broadcasting has led only to the mass replication. What is happening? Replication of video garbage rather than a banquet of culture as first touted. What's the meaning of touted? High promises while selling. High promises while selling. Okay. The mega dosage of reality programs has lowered the lowest common denominator of pre-literacy. Denominator and numerator you might have heard now. So lowest common denominator has come down to pre-literacy. Reality TV has annihilated. What's the meaning of annihilated, children?
Destroyed.
Yes, destroyed utterly. The classic documentary, when was the last time you saw a prime time documentary devoted to a serious subject worthy of all your attention? They are extinct. What has become now? They are extinct. Relics of the prehistoric past back when television attempted to espouse. What's the meaning of this espouse? Adopt or support. Civic ideals. Reality TV has debased, okay, the time-honored art of bad acting. Bad acting comes in many bags and various orders, whether in the recitation of dialogue of an eye chart or the suffusion of melodrama in every frame. Bad acting has its own style. What can be denied, though, is that there is effort being made, which is why we can stand it. What kind of acting do we get from reality TV? Eye rolling, dirty looks. So these are the keywords I should underline. Eye rolling, dirty looks, and stiff figure gestures, incensed mama head wagging. Can you tell me the meaning of mama head wagging? Just imagine mama. Mama here refers to a lady, a fully grown lady. Okay, head wagging, they show tantrums. Okay, children. Jaws drop down like drawbridges to convey stunned indignation. Emotionally, reality TV is investigative, envy and spite being the alternating currents. Nearly everyone conforms to crude cartoon stereotypes. Gold digger, flamboyant, gay, recovering addict, sofa spurt, regaholic, okay, making as many faced faces as the facelift will permit. A small caliber barrage of reaction shots that can be cut from one random stretch of footage and pasted in later to punctuate an exchange. Good manners and decorum are anathema. What's the meaning of anathema, children? Something that is,
Are strange to reality TV.
yeah, but something which someone dislikes, like good manners, it has become strange, no doubt. But here it means like these things, good manners and decorum, are disliked by the reality. The contrived impulsivity rules the roost. What's the rule? Rules the roost means be in complete control. Okay? This whole phrase means be in complete control. Okay, children, 1 minute. I'll just drag it. Reality TV encourages and rewards vulgar, selfish, antisocial, egoistic behavior. Even losers gloat with nasty delight after being eliminated from a show if they can take rivals down with them, almost as if losing looks was sweet victory. A sacrifice worth making to louse up someone else's chance. Reality TV gives voyeurism. What's the meaning of voyeurism, children? It's a pleasure that you get out of the other person's activities, dirty activities. Okay. For the film directors, voyeurism has been one of the great self-reflexive themes in post-war cinema, whether it was in Sleuth, The Osterman Weekend, Hatch, or Rear Window, the audience's fine act. Life within a location became implicated and snared in the drama that unfolded in the voyeurism of the reality TV. The viewer's passivity is kept intact. Viewer's passive. What's the meaning of passive and active? Active, passive, you know what are active and passive?
Yes, ma'am.
So active when you see the doer is in action, and passive when doer is not in action. Here, what this TV and all has done with us, reality TVs, it has made the viewer's passivity intact. Got it? Pampered and massaged and force-fed, carefully edited snippets that permit him or her to sit in easy judgment and feel superior at watching familiar strangers make fools of themselves. The only reality of the reality TV is that it looks in only one direction down. Got it, children? Okay, so children, there are now 5 questions. I want you to do it first by yourself. You have already read the passage. Okay, and then I shall discuss with you. So I will give you for per question 1 minute. So the first question goes, when the author says that reality TV has lowered the lowest common denominator to pre-literacy, we understand that. What should be the answer?
Ma'am, third or fourth?
Acha, so, third or fourth. Okay. And Gauri, what according to you, Bacha?
Ma'am, this is Gauri only.
Acha, Gauri. Then Rich, Hana, what about you?
Mom, I think 3.
Three. Okay. So let us elaborate. Huh? He says, when the author says that reality TV has lowered the lowest common denominator to pre-literacy, we understand that he thinks the viewers need not have received any education at all. That's not the answer. He thinks the viewers need not exercise their intelligence. Here, intelligence is a term that you need to keep in mind because pre-literacy is the term being used. Huh? He thinks the viewers have no intelligence at all. No, it is not like this. He says pre-literacy. So this cannot be the answer. Okay. Here, this cannot be. He thinks the viewers need not have received any education. This is also not the answer. He thinks that even the simplest of the viewers would be able to follow what happens. This could be the answer. Okay, the simplest of the viewers would also be able to, but when it comes to the kind of passage which is given to us, their intelligence prevails. Children. So this should be the answer. He thinks the viewers need not exercise their intelligence at all. They can simply understand it. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Children, your second question is, from the passage, we understand that when cable broadcasting first began, what should the answer here? Were they aiming would gain exposure to the cultural variety? Did the people feel like this? Or it was thought to be the harbinger, means a messenger of cultural change? It was believed that there would be a change in the focus given to cultural variety? Or it was promoted with the promise of greater cultural variety for the viewers?
Ma'am, I think it's the fourth
Ah,
one.
yes, very good. It's answer number 2. Yes. Okay. Children, question number 3. The author, through the comparison voyeurism in the films with that in reality TV, tells us that while the one invites our intellectual participation, the other merely feeds our ego. Feeds our ego. Okay, here I should underline this. Merely feeds our ego. While the one requires interaction, the other does not. Has it come anywhere? Does not? It does not. Okay. Voyeurism, as presented in films, cannot find place on TV. Is it like this? No, it is not like this. Okay, so this cannot be our answer. In both the cases, there is audience involvement, but of the different types. Are the audience are involved?
Not exactly.
Not exactly. So what can be the answer?
While one invites our intellectual participation, the other merely feeds our ego.
Feeds our ego. Yes, correct. Okay. Number 4, when the author says that reality TV is emotionally emasculating, he means that. What does he mean? Is devoid of emotion, is emotionally impoverished, has only negative emotions displayed, or lacks the strength of positive emotions. Emaciated means weakened, drained of energy. Okay. So what does it fit here with the reality TV? It's not completely negative, is it? Is it impoverished? Can be impoverished? Yes, it has become poor. It is devoid of emotions? No. They create emotions, but in a negative way. So the answer will be it lacks the strength of positive emotions. You got it, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Children, your fifth question says the author points to certain features of the histrionics on reality TV, which among the following is not. Now you have to pay attention on this. Not one of them. Come on, see which one is not there. Certain features of histrionics on reality TV. Okay. The facial expressions and gestures are what the performers use most. The facial expressions or the gestures require little acting skill. The facial expressions and gestures used are invariably spontaneous. The facial expressions and gestures invariably display base emotions. Now you'll have to find for the not, which is not there.
The first one,
Yes, sir. How?
the facial expressions and gestures are what the
So
performers
that
use
is
the
there.
most.
That is there, na, bacha? That is there.
It
You have to
is
find not. Okay, so the facial expression just as used are invariably spontaneous. Are they invariably spontaneous? They are not, isn't it? This will be our answer. The rest, all the things are always there. Okay, children. Now, this is the way you'll be getting it in the exam as well. Okay, we are done with this, and here comes another passage. This is again a short passage, somewhere of the same genre. So I want you to read it, and we shall solve it. Further, there are grammars, and we have a lot of time. We'll be able to do it. Okay. So shall we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please start.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, start. Who is going to read
One.
first? Please start.
I'll
Hmm.
start. One afternoon last month, a woman in her early 30s arrived at Jean George's, a restaurant in Midtown Manhattan, rated by critics as among the best in the world. The woman took a seat at one of the tables in the center of the room. There was nothing remarkable about her appearance, and her demeanor was quiet and unassuming, as if designed to deflect attention, a trait indispensable for her profession as an inspector for the Michelin Hotel and Restaurant Guide. Conceived in France
Hmm.
at the beginning of the last century, the Michelin Guide today has editions in 23 countries and is one of the best selling restaurant guides in the world. It operates on the principle that only reviews by anonymous, professionally trained experts that can be trusted for accurate assessments of a restaurant's food and service. Michelin goes to extraordinary lengths to maintain the anonymity of its inspectors. Many of the company's top executives have never met an inspector. Inspectors themselves are advised not to disclose their line of work, even to their parents, who might be tempted to boast about it. And in all the years that it has been putting out the guide, Michelin has refused to allow its inspectors to speak to journalists. The inspectors write reports that are distilled in annual star meetings at the guide's various national offices into the ranking of 3 stars, 2 stars, and 1 star or no stars. Establishments that Michelin deems unworthy of a visit are not included in the guide. A 3 star Michelin ranking like that enjoyed by Jean Georges is exceedingly rare. Only 26 3 star restaurants exist in France and only 81 in the world.
Okay, fine. Now Gauri shall read it. Gauri?
Yes.
Yeah.
In 2005, Michelin launched its first foray into North America with the publication of the 2006 New York City Guide. Since coming to America, Michelin has learned that its brand of Gallic opacity and unapologetic gastronomic elitism has been a tougher sell here than it was in Europe or Asia. The Tokyo edition of the guide, which debuted in 2007, sold more than 100,000 copies on its first day. 5 years after its arrival in New York City, Michelin has failed to knock the Times from its perch as the premier arbiter of restaurants in the city, or to outsell the Zagat Guide, which relies on customer service for its restaurant ranking. This fall, in an effort to promote what the managing director of the guides calls a better understanding of the guide's means and methods, Michelin launched a website famously anonymous to explain to Americans the concept of Michelin inspector. It has also recently opened Twitter accounts for its reviewers, but by far the most salient sign
Sign.
of Michelin's new openness was its decision this
Mhm.
fall to allow me to meet and to eat with one of its New York based inspectors. As a precondition of our interview, I was told that certain details of the inspector's personal life would be obscured or not divulged to me at all. When I asked her name, the inspector laughed nervously. Make something up, she said. Say Maxima.
Mhm.
Uh, Maxime.
Mhm.
So, Maxime is a New Yorker. She said that speaking to me about her work felt surreal. We spend all our time not letting people know who we are, she said, but admitted that she had told her husband what she does for a living. He's an attorney, he knows all about confidentiality. For most others, she keeps her occupation vague. We try not to lie, she said. You say you are in publishing or something like that. The waiter, a young man in a dark suit, handed us menus. I asked Maxime how she chooses what to order. You look for something that really tests a number of quality ingredients and then something that's a little complex because you want to see what the kitchen can do, she said. We would never order something like a salad. We rarely order soup. She decided to try the full grass brulee, although I usually avoid it because of the calories.
So, children, what is it about? The
It's about
restaurants?
how the Michelin's
Hmm.
inspector concept came from Europe to America and what all changes it had to do
Hmm.
for the Americans
And how
to,
rare is the ranking they get, isn't it?
yes.
And how they get the ranking. Both of you have understood. Yeah. So I shall go ahead with the
Yes, ma'am.
questions. So you want me to go ahead with the questions? Shall we? What do you
Yes,
say?
ma'am.
Okay, child. In case we get stuck anywhere, then we'll go back. Okay. Okay, children. So here it goes. The words or phrases that would describe what Michelin looks for in its inspectors would be. Come on. Out of these
Ma'am,
five
what's
words,
reticent?
reticent is not revealing thoughts. I should write it here. Not revealing thoughts. Sometimes people they carry such expressions that you cannot make out from their face what are they thinking about or what are they aiming at. And you should get the meaning of nondescript also. That is lacking interesting features. Features. Okay. So which answer should be there? What type of like the words and the phrases that would describe what mission looks for in the inspector? Okay. So what type of inspector? That lady was not even telling. Further, she agreed that yes, she has shared it with her husband. Otherwise, their rule is that they should not even tell it to their parents what they are working for, isn't it? They remain silent and their attire is also very simple. So, two should be there, isn't it?
2, 4,
Uh,
and 5.
2, 4, and 5. So, our answer is number 3. Okay, children. Next one is which of the following statements about the Michelin guides is not? Again, see, I would every time highlight this, not in keeping with what is indicated in the passage. Now, you'll have to be very careful with these things, okay? So, which one is not there? It is currently published in 23 countries. It is among the best-selling restaurants guides in every country of its publication. Or it focuses on the standards and quality of food and services in restaurants. It has 4 levels of ratings. What is your answer? Acha, I can show you the passage once again if you wish. Do you want me to show you the passage?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, here it goes. Quick. Hurry up.
It
Hmm.
has four. The four level of ratings refers to 1 star, 2 star, and 3 star.
Hmm. But is it not among the best-selling restaurants? Not Karen. It is it among the best-selling? He's asking you for not. Nowhere it has come that it has become the best-selling restaurants. Okay, it is among the best-selling restaurant guides in every country of its. In every country, is it there in every country? Very clearly, it has told you 81 countries, na? And he's asking you answer for not in keeping with according to the passage. Got it, no, children? What I'm aiming at?
Yes, ma'am.
So your answer stands to be number 2. Okay. Children, further, the next question reads, to be able to correctly assess how rare Michelin's 3-star rating really is, we would need to know what we need to know. I'm going to start reading, Gauri. Read the options.
Which restaurant receives 3 stars? Second, how many of the 3 star restaurants are outside France? Third, what the rating parameters are for each category. And fourth, the total number of restaurants inspected by Michelin.
Okay. So what is going to be our job? To be able to correctly assess how rare Michelin's 3-star rating is. What we need to know out of these points? Say, for example, you are sitting in the exam, which one you would have marked? Rating parameters are already
Which
declared.
restaurants receive 3 stars?
Okay. Or it can also be that you should know altogether how many restaurants they have inspected. Out of that only you will get to know who has got 3 stars.
Ma'am, actually, I mean the rating parameters also can be there.
What the
So there
rating
are
parameter?
3 points.
There are 3 points. Now the nearest correct answer will be this point is there. This one is also there. How many of the 3-star restaurants are there outside France? So your answer would be this number 4. When you get to know total how many restaurants they have inspected, then you will be able to understand their parameters, also 3 stars, and also what rating parameters are. Everything is included in this. Got it, children, what I am aiming at? Say yes or else argue with me. I'll change my answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, acha. Now question number 9. Children, question number 9 reads, we can infer. You all know the meaning of inference?
Yes,
Ma'am?
ma'am.
Ma'am.
Acha. Okay. From the passage that the author believes that Michelin sets higher standard. Okay, this should be read by Hannah. Earlier, Gauri read it now. Hannah, you read all the options.
Yes, ma'am. Option 1, the author believes that Michelin sets higher standards than other restaurant guides. Option 2, Michelin would like to maintain a low profile in the matter of its public image. Option 3, the restaurant inspectors are not regular employees of Michelin. Option 4, the guide is a publication that is uniformly popular all over the world.
Okay, what should be the answer? It's our inference. Okay, first of all, you need to keep in mind what is our inference. So we are going to think about the author, the narrator, what is he is telling us, what is his point of view. We'll have to info from that. So is he saying that Michelin would like to maintain a low profile? No, this low profile cannot be the answer at all, isn't it? The restaurant inspectors are not regular employees, are they? No, he has nowhere said like that. So this cannot be our answer. The guide is a publication that is uniformly popular all over the world. Is it like this?
No, madam.
Then what should the answer?
The author believes that Michelin sets higher standards than others.
Correct. Okay. Okay, so question number 10 reads, we can understand that restaurant inspectors would never order a salad. Why? Because, read the options, Gauri.
It would arrive too fast for them to be able to adequately assess the restaurant in all its aspects. The inspector would not, through a salad, be able to adequately assess the culinary expertise in the restaurant. It is the sort of preparation that a restaurant cannot go wrong with. Salads being everyday dishes, reviews of salads would hardly appeal to the leadership of the guide.
So,
The second option,
Yes, ma'am. I would go for the same.
yeah, you both are correct. Very correct. Okay. That's it, children, for this passage. And now further, we are going to do the questions. Further, we are going to do the questions which are based on the verbal ability. One, children. So the question comes here itself. From here till here, you have done 10 questions. Means you are having 5 questions in the first passage and 5 questions for the second passage. Okay. So here it reads, select the word that is opposite. Okay. In meaning to the word given in capitals. What is this written here? What is this written?
Solemn.
Okay. Salam. Okay. So what will be the opposite of that?
frivolous.
Frivolous. Very good. Very good. Correct answer. Correct answer. I'll just drag it down for you. Okay. Children, here it comes again. Come on, read. What is this term given?
Late.
Lead. Yeah. Lead. What will be the opposite of that? Achha, if I am going to tell you the meaning of it, it means supple, flexible, graceful. Now, what will be your
Stiff
answer?
then?
Is stiff. Yeah, very good. Okay, now number 13, it reads. Come on, it reads docile. Okay, so docile to be already know. What will be the opposite of that?
Aggressive. Option 3.
Yeah, very good, very good. I'm going to drag it a little. Okay. Now, children, till now you were doing 3 questions of antonyms, and now you're doing synonyms. Okay. So in each of the questions given below, a word in capital has been used in sentence followed by the forward. Select the word that is similar. Okay, so synonyms you are going to do. Okay, come on, read this question for me, Gauri. One question both of you are going to do. One after the other. Come on, Gauri, read it.
Only the most devout were allowed to perform rituals at the innermost shrine.
Similar word you have to find out now.
Pious,
Pious, correct. Correct. Okay, now next, Hannah, start reading.
A penury of values is often the result of too much material wealth. I think penury is poverty, first option.
Very good, very good. Come on again, Hannah. This one, Gauri.
the use of opium often makes one's mind languid.
Yeah. No, language term you have read somewhere in your junior classes. Have you, Amanda? Read that book?
Hostile,
Huh?
hostile, or
No.
enervated.
Enervated will be the answer. Okay. So drained of energy. Okay. So they both mean drained of energy. Enervated is the answer. Okay, children. Now over here, each pair of the capitalized words given below is followed by 4 pairs of words. Choose the pair that exhibits a relationship that is not similar. Okay. Not similar to that expressed in the capitalized pair. Come on, what should be the answer here? What is the first question?
Drapers and garments.
Huh. And you'll have to find out that which is not similar.
Ma'am, ferrymen and boats?
Very how? Tell me how.
Because ferrymen are the ones who row the boats, whereas cobblers fix shoes, drapers drape garments, florists create garlands, and confectionaries make sweets.
Okay. So you both agree with this answer? Gauri, do you have any different answer?
No, ma'am.
So this is the correct answer. Okay. Children, now number 18. Again, you'll have to find out that which is not similar. Hurry up, start. The answer that is vivacious. What do you understand by vivacious? Lively, interesting. Okay. Now you find out which one goes against this one. The correct relationship is not there. Let us elaborate. Okay. Fanatic and zealous.
Philosopher and vacuous.
This is Hannah answering me.
Gauri.
Got it. Okay. Hannah, what is your answer?
Ma'am, I also think the same.
You both are correct. You both are correct. Okay. Because vacuous means a particular person who lacks intelligence. Okay. So here it goes correct. Whereas dancer and vivacious, dancer has to be lively. And it is just the opposite. Okay. Children, now question number 19 and 20. In each of the following questions, the word at the top is used in 4 different ways. Choose the option in which the usage of the word is incorrect. What is it? Incorrect or inappropriate. Now the term is past. One by one, you both are going to read it and then take a decision. So this question will be read by one girl. Who is going to read it first?
I'll read it.
Okay, let's just start.
The rising sun cast a golden glow over the distant hills. I cast my mind on the day when I entered the city as a young man of 15 without a penny in my pocket. You must cast aside all disturbing thoughts and move on with life. The whole cast of the play deserves tremendous applause for putting up such a brilliant performance.
Now, what are you supposed to find here where the term has not been used correctly? Okay, which sentence will you find in such a way?
Option 4. Because the whole cast, in the
No.
sense, I think, talks about like the cast of a play, the people who were a
Oh.
part of acting in the play, whereas in the other 3, it means casting it on something, like casting aside or casting on my mind, or I think something of that sense.
See, the rising sun cast a golden glow. It matches to this thing, not the whole cast. The whole cast here refers to the group of people. You must cast aside all the disturbing thoughts.
Ma'am, is it the second one? I cast
Second.
my mind.
Yeah. Actually, answer is second one. Now, Gauri, you tell us why it should be the answer.
Because Cast here means like
Means he thought over.
throwing,
He
yeah,
thought over,
like
है ना?
throwing aside or putting aside, or like cast a golden glow. So,
Whereas over here he says, I cast my mind on the day when I entered this city. So it's incorrect, no? Here usage is incorrect. Hana, you're understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Hana? So here it is incorrect. I should drag it for you now. Okay, children. Now here it is. Come on, read it. Whose turn it is to read now?
Ma'am, I'll start.
Yeah, Bachchan. Start.
Pull. Being the charismatic leader that he is, he always manages to pull huge crowds. The government received a lot of flack from the public when it decided to pull down the heritage building. After the unpleasant incident, I had no choice but to pull up myself together. The doctors assured us that the patient would pull through once the surgery was performed.
Again, inappropriate is to be told over here. What should be the answer?
I think option 2.
Okay. Any other answer? Inappropriate. Over here, you think that pull down is inappropriate.
I'm not sure, ma'am. Either it's 2 or no, ma'am. I don't think it's option 2.
No, it's not option 2. You're right. Then inappropriate usage is given in option number 3. After the unpleasant incident,
third.
I had no choice but to pull up myself together. Over here, pull up has been used wrong. It's a phrasal verb. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, children. Now we go ahead with another set of questions. And children, it reads the sentences given in each of the following questions when properly sequenced. What you are going to do is you are going to put them into sequence. Form a coherent paragraph. Each sentence is labeled with a letter P, Q, R, S, T. From among the 4 choices given below, each question choose the most logical order of sentences that constructs a coherent paragraph. Okay, you have to read these options and tell me how the paragraph would be made. Now, before I tell you, it's my duty that I should explain you, children. So while we've been making the sentences, what we were focusing on, that there has to be a subject, yeah, children, or there has to be article with which we begin the sentence and followed by finite verb and then the object and the sentence gets completed, right? When comes to paragraph, there has to be initial sentence with which you start your argument, followed by you adding on points to it, okay, and making it all together a paragraph which would start a topic and will also close it. Over here, whatever the options you get out of that, you are going to create such paragraphs.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but so first you try for it. Okay, or else let us do one thing. First answer I'm giving you, further I'll be telling you how to create it. You'll be creating it. Okay, over here, this is the answer. RPTSQ. Now, where is R? R is here. Start reading.
The European Union's recent launch of separate passports for children in the Schengen borderless states, besides the requirement of 2 fingerprints of persons above 12 years, marks a major change in the incorporation of biometric data to protect personal identities world over. The latest drive to harmonize the rules on the deployment of biometric features in the bloc would further facilitate visa-free travel to the United States for citizens from EU countries that are currently part of such an arrangement. Second-generation biometric passports contain a microchip wherein personal data are embedded, allowing remote access and a cryptographic means to prevent unauthorized use. Since 2006, digital facial images are embedded in the microchip on passports and travel documents of the EU with a validity of over 12 years. In addition, the European Parliament recently gave an overwhelming endorsement to the controversial proposal to include 2 fingerprints beside iris scans as a backup to fine tune data validity.
Children, have you understood? First of all, it got its initial sentence, the European Union's recent launch of separate passport for children. It was followed by the biometric, followed by the chip, Since 2006, what is happening, isn't it? Then second generation biometric passport. It is adding on, isn't it? In addition, what has happened? The European Parliament recently gave an overwhelming endorsement. Is it adding on to it?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is how we are going to do it further. I'm going to drag it, and this one you shall do by your own. Okay. Come on. Start. Here it is. And I will take your options and then I shall discuss. Achha, first of all, you can tell me, ma'am, this could be the initial sentence. We'll begin with like that. Initial sentence. Which one should be the initial sentence out of these?
Ma'am, S or T?
S. S is the correct.
S.
Okay, so S is going to be number 1. Okay, now read it somebody loudly.
If life looks cheery despite gloomy weather, mass job insecurity, and the suspicion that spending hours on Facebook is mangling your mind, you might want to thank your glass half full gene.
Then what is going to add on to it?
P.
P. Very good. This is going to be number 2. Read it, please.
It seems that for some of us, looking on the bright side is hardwired into our genetic makeup, helping us shrug off the miseries of life and enjoy the positives.
Okay, now add on to this. Any
Q.
research is made? Any research is made?
Research by the British psychologist.
Very good. Read on this. Hariya.
The research by British psychologists suggests that people who carry the gene pay less attention to negative things going on around them and focus instead on the happier aspects of life.
And what do they achieve by doing this? So what can be the sentence added to?
R.
Yeah, very good. Come on, read it.
By doing so, and are generally in better shape psychologically.
Okay, now what can be the concluding sentence?
Q.
Psychologist at Essex University.
Read it fast.
Psychologists at Essex University said the gene seems to underlie some people's ability to deal with daily stresses.
So our answer is going to be, what is our answer?
The fourth one.
Fourth option. Okay, come on. Now, children, here again it is, but you are able to see here only 2 parts. Further, I'll have to drag it. First, you read this, and then I'm going to show you. Okay, there it comes.
T is the first sentence.
Very good, very good. T is the first sentence. I'm going to put number 1 here. Okay, come on, what should be the second one? Actually, you read it, then you will get the second one. Come on.
R.
Read loudly the T part.
Okay. Nearly 20 years ago in 1991, in the wake of the disintegration of USSR, which had been preceded by the collapse of socialist regimes in Eastern Europe, from late 1989 through 1991, there was an unprecedented display of triumphalism by the ideologues of the capitalist global order, epitomized by Fukuyama's book, The End of History.
The end of history. Okay. Now, this was about history. What is happening in the current global economic wave? Which point will be there?
R.
Come on, read it.
The current global economic and financial crisis of capitalism shows how short-sighted the triumphalism was and how premature the celebrations of the ideologues of neoliberal capitalism were.
Yeah. That's it. 2 of the points are hidden. This one I'll just, drag it for you so that you read there. Come on, read it over here, children. Do you find anything which should come after this?
Q.
Q or P, the crisis of. Read it and then take a decision. However, you will add on once you have stated the argument. We read this one P first. Read loudly. I want to listen it.
The crisis of capitalism has opened up possibilities for a more progressive and democratic restructuring of the global order, as well as for the advance of progressive forces in many countries.
Now, do you find Q fits in or you want me to drag it? I should drag it.
It should be P then, the
P.
third sentence.
Third sentence is P. And what should the fourth sentence?
S.
S. Very good. Fourth sentence is S. And then closing sentence will be
Q.
Q is going to be the closing sentence. Acha, I did not write here number 3. You know? I will write here 3 and I will write here 5. Okay. And now I'm going to drag it and you tell me what should be the option that I should mark as my answer.
The first one.
The first one. Okay. So this is how it is going to be. These children, whatever you did just now, the 3 questions, they were para-jumbles. What they were? Para-jumbles. Jumbled sentences,
Para-jumbles.
right, children? Jumbled sentences you have done in your junior classes. In your class 10th, you have done, 9th, you have done, 11th, 12th, you have done, right? Here you get the jumbled paragraphs itself, when you will have to put them into order. Now, further, children, this question reads, there's another set of questions. Each of the following questions has a paragraph from which the last sentence has been deleted. Till now, you are arranging the whole paragraph. Now, the paragraph has been arranged. You only have to add on to the closing sentence. This is going to be easier.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this will be a little faster. And I want you to read it one by one. This will be read by the one who was read just now. The chance should be given to the second guy. You know, sometimes I get mixed with your voice. Okay, so Gauri, you may read it.
One of the clearest signs that our relationship to the global environment is in severe crisis is the flood of garbage spilling out of our cities and factories. What some have called the throwaway society has been based on the assumptions that endless resources will allow us to produce an endless supply of goods and that bottomless receptacles, that is, the landfills and ocean dumping sites, will allow us to dispose of an endless stream of waste. But now we are beginning to drown in that stream. So, the first option, the way we think about waste is leading to the production of so much of it that no method for handling it can escape being completely overwhelmed. We are disconcerted when the huge quantities of waste we thought we had thrown away suddenly demand our attention. Most troubling of all, many of the new chemical waste compounds are never tested for their potential toxicity. Having relied on too long on the old strategy of out of sight, out of mind, we are now running out of ways to dispose of our waste in a manner that keeps it out of either sight or mind.
See, first sentence, I'm going to elaborate and then you will tell me. The way we think about waste is leading to the production of so much of it that no method for handling it can escape being completely overwhelmed. The way we think that about waste, okay. We are disconcerted when the huge quantities of waste we thought we had thrown away suddenly demand our attention. Most troubling of all, many of the new chemical waste compounds are never tested for their potential. This cannot be. Having read it for too long on the old strategy, is he not speaking about the old strategy? One of the clearest signs that our relationship to the global environment is in the severe crisis is the flood tide of garbage spilling out of our cities and factories. What some have called the throwaway society has been based on the assumptions that endless resources will allow us. Actually, is it not? We've been running on the long old strategy of outside and out of mind, out of sight, out of mind.
Yes, ma'am, the fourth option.
Fourth option. This happens to be the closing. Okay, here comes another one. Now, I think this was being read by Gauri, so Hana should read it. Hana?
Whether it is the urge to look good or the manifestation of an emotional problem or just the desire to get noticed, eating disorders are devastating. The physical and mental repercussions can leave a person scarred for life. Counseling, a balanced diet, proper exercise, and the right attitude are what can catalyze recovery. As more people become increasingly obsessed with the perfect size, this is here to stay. The only way to combat eating disorders is through awareness and discipline, qualities for which one needs to delve deep within oneself. Most adults who develop eating disorders often have a history of emotional issues that manifest in different forms.
Closing. I'm again emphasizing closing means you will have to end up your argument there with that sentence. So what can help?
I think the first option,
The first
counseling a
one.
balanced diet.
Very correct. Very correct. Okay, one more of that type is there, children. So Gauri should read it now. Gauri, start.
There's a poetic charm about building bridges that connect islands because of the inherent metaphor. Some of the world's great bridges are forms of high art. The Brooklyn Bridge was also a suspension bridge, is an architectural wonder. So are the famous London bridges. The San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge inspired a whole new verse. Some of these bridges have been immortalized by many a poet. The team building bridges has come to mean an attempt to connect people and cultures. Each of these bridges is a technological marvel. It is truly a cultural experience to be associated with the humanity that uses these
The
bridges.
bridges. Yeah. So what should be the closing line? There's a poetic charm about building bridges that connect islands because of inherent metaphor. Metaphor, we all know, girls. Metaphor is also comparison like that.
Yes, ma'am.
How? Give me one
You know,
example.
I think an example would be using
Mhm.
it to describe something. So maybe like she is an angel, maybe something similar.
Or one example I'll give you. Say, for example, he fought like a tiger in the battlefield. So, like a tiger, that we are using simile. He
Yes,
was a
ma'am.
tiger in the battlefield. He was a tiger. Straight away, when I say it, then it will be better. Okay. Children, back to square
Yes, ma'am.
one. Yeah, back to square one, children. Some of the world's great bridges are the forms of high art. The Brooklyn Bridge, also a suspension bridge, is an architectural wonder. So are the famous London bridges. The San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge inspired a whole new verse. What you'll have to do it, you'll have to give it a closing statement, that is the term building bridges. Read for me the term.
The term building bridges has come to mean an attempt to connect people and cultures.
You agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, girls, I'm going to drag, and my effort is to complete this handout. Altogether, there are 40 questions in it, and we are now on 27 to 30. Okay, these are the simple ones. So, each sentence given below has one blank. Choose the option that the blank correctly that fills the blank. Okay, so first sentence will be read by Hannah. One by one, you both are going to read it. Okay, come on.
The cloning technique is in its infancy and is dashed with problems both medical and ethical. I think it's the first option and is
Very correct.
fraught with
Very
problems both medical and ethical.
correct. Okay, next, Gauri.
The bus plummeted into a deep valley when the driver failed to dash a sharp curve on the hazardous mountain road.
Uh, Okay, and as a matter of fact, there are three options
That is
similar.
same. Yes.
And so you'll get a benefit of doubt. Okay, what should be the answer?
First,
Come on.
second, and third.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. So that's correct. Okay. Come on. Next one, Hannah.
Yes, ma'am. Ostriches live mainly on dashed grass, and the nest of the ostrich, which is normally a shallow hole in the ground, is scraped out of the soil by the male bird. I think it's the fourth option, mainly
Very
on
good.
coarse grass.
Very nice. Now, Gauri, read it.
Dash, rage, anxiety, or trouble at work can stress the body, eventually manifesting itself as muscle spasms, nerve dysfunction, and pain.
Okay, so
I
what?
think it's the first option.
Very good. Very good. Read next one, Hannah.
When a person is mentally prepared, makes a series of dash decisions and sticks to them, he can get through any difficult situation. I think it's the second option, rational.
Very, very good. Okay, see these two questions. Whose turn it is should be the last.
Yeah. The government employee who was accused of dash funds and who is now wanted by the police has disappeared. I think it's the fourth option.
Very good, very good. Hannah, you next one.
According to Hindu mythology, goddess Ganga dashed herself in the form of a river and descended to the earth. Option 1 manifested.
Very good, very good. Okay, so here we go. This one for Gauri, I think, Hannah.
Given the finite availability of fresh water on the planet and the dash pressure on this scarce resource, Because of the growth of population, it is clear that a major crisis lies ahead of us. It's the first option.
Good. So children, here it goes. Given below are 4 sentences. Identify the sentence that is correct. Okay. Earlier you were having incorrect and all. Now you have to see correct in terms of grammar and meaning and mark the corresponding number as your answer. Got it, children? Now whose turn is to read? Or you can read it silently and tell me, ma'am, this should be the answer or that should be the answer.
For 35th, I think it's the first one.
This is Gauri.
Same,
telling.
ma'am,
Okay,
first
huh?
option.
Okay, you're right. You're right. Okay, 36. Acha, once you read it, bacha, I want this to be read.
Darcy is very different from the others in his family.
Okay, so we'll go like this, huh, for all the sentences. Come on, 36. What should be the answer?
I think again the first option. The editor voiced his personal opinion that was independent from any media influence.
I think it's the second one.
Independent of, not from. Okay,
Got
so
it,
it will
ma'am.
be second. Okay, so now 37.
The first one,
First one. Very good.
unlike adults, children live in the moment.
Very good. Come on, read the next one. The group requires that participants should be attentive. The group requires participants to be attentive. The group requires participants are attentive. As participants being attentive.
First one,
This is Gauri. Hana, what is your answer?
Second?
You both will have to justify why second or why first. Come on, Gauri, what is your statement?
so the group requires that the participants should be attentive, like it's an assertive sentence.
So the modal verb should
So
has
should
been
be,
used. Should
yes.
has been used, no? To show that it should be there. Okay, ought to. Okay, then what is your argument, Hana? Why this one?
Ma'am, I think when I read it, it just sounded right.
And now you'll have to elaborate. Na? The group requires that the participants be.
I think it's concise and to the point. Requires that participants be attentive.
It's concise and to the point. Okay, and this is sounds like bossing over. You should be. Okay, so second is the answer, Gauri.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, number 39, children, come on, read it.
Ma'am, first option?
This is Hana telling me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and Gauri, what's your answer?
I also think it's the first one.
Very good. Now, last question. Arya,
Second option?
read more. Read
Dogs
more.
consider humans to be their friends.
When you say consider, to be is already there in it.
Oh, then first option, ma'am.
Read more. Read more.
The third one,
Third one.
Okay,
Dogs
ma'am. Got it.
consider. Okay, because as and to be, they both are not required. Humans, they are friends. Like over here, you were saying the concise to the point. Same thing is there.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So, children, with this, we come to the end of class.